Hello everyone. For this tutorial video, I'd like to introduce Pascal's principle, which describes what will happen to a fluid if an outside pressure is applied to it. If we remember from the video on the definition of fluids, the atoms in a fluid freely move about. They are not fixed like in a solid. This means that if they have an open space to go through, they will move by themselves like so. However, an interesting thing happens when the fluid is fully enclosed with nowhere to go, because the atoms will still move freely about and so increase the pressure if you apply a pressure from outside. As you can see, when the water rises, when I squeeze it from the edges, as the top of the water is empty space, so it will want to move there, but the sides are a container, in this case a cup, so it cannot move there for virtue of it being the walls of the container. Stated formally, Pascal's principle states that any outside pressures will cause a total increase in pressure throughout the whole fluid, regardless of where exactly the pressure is applied. Like so. Notice how the water rose to both the same level in both cases, even though the pressure was applied at the bottom once and then the top the other time. This gets used in things like hydraulic brakes in car engines or hydraulic lifts in auto shops. Since we know mathematically pressure equals force divided by area, we should be able to see that a more narrower area on one end will give a greater pressure throughout the whole fluid if you press down upon it. And this is exactly the logic behind how the hydraulic technologies work. As for example, the car brake has a hydraulics system where the pressure from the smaller brake is transmitted undiminished or with no losses to the cylinders in the car engine, which are generally much larger, and the hydraulic lift works in the same way, i.e. the end that is not supporting the car has a narrow area for greater pressure to more easily lift the wider end that is supporting the car. Now that I've explained how pressure is transmitted through an enclosed fluid from outside forces as well as internal forces, I can explain how internal forces or differences in pressure affect the motion of solid objects immersed in a fluid. For example, why objects that have a smaller total weight or total density than the fluid surrounding them will float, and why the opposite is true too, i.e. objects that are more dense than the fluid will sink. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.